not always easy, but we make it through. I know it is hard right now. Be all right.
I'm just so frustrated with school.
Wonderful, darling. Tell me more.
This is Teresa, and I just want to briefly go over the 5 most common mistakes that parents make when talking or trying to talk with their teens. So I'm going to do these in reverse order. They're all real important, but there's a couple of them that are real key, and have those at the end. So real briefly, so number 5, which is probably the most obvious one. It's not that it's not important, it's real important, but it's the most obvious one, is getting pulled into all of their emotion and their drama. So getting your emotional state caught up in theirs. It's real important. It's good to go ahead and match that energy and strength because you want to stand your ground. And in all of these, I want to point out, you don't want to put up with, a lot of disrespect. You don't want to put up with, you still have the line of their behavior and how they're expected to interact. But these are things that can either escalate or help calm things down. So you want to match their energy and their strength, but not their emotion. Okay, so that's the big thing. If you match their emotion and they're frustrated, angry, it's going to quickly escalate. They'll get you upset, and then that'll go round and round and cycle. So that's number 5. Number 4. It's real easy habit, especially as parents, because we're so used to explaining a lot to our kids, but doing most of the talking. So like with these type of videos, it's just me and I'm talking, but when I have a group and any type of coaching or anything where I'm interacting, I really have to remind myself to step back and make sure I'm listening, sometimes even more than talking. And sometimes, especially with the teen, even if they ask you something, pause and somehow get them to tell you what they think as well. So that's number 4. So number 3, that's number 4. So number 3, and before we go into the next ones, make sure that if you you like this and subscribe this if you haven't already subscribed, and check out the description. I'll talk a little bit more at the end about what's in the description, but there's some really good resources down there. So number 3. Taking their choice, whether it's their words, of course, they still have to be respectful, but their attitude, their word, or their reaction, especially their behavior, personally. So you want to make sure this is the time when they are going to be exploring, sometimes testing you and the boundaries, and that's expected. But just make sure that they're not getting into any dangerous areas. And again, they can test things without being disrespectful. Just make sure that when they're testing something, even if it's something that's like the opposite of what you believe, or you're opposed to something and they want to go ahead and check it out and try it, don't take it personally. That doesn't mean everything's okay to try, but don't take it personally. This is the age, just like when they're toddlers and they're trying to figure out their own way. Sometimes they can't come up with anything else other than the opposite of what you say. So when you see that, again, bring it in line, but don't take it personally. I look at it as they can't really come up with other options. That's one of the things you want to help them do, is see more options, not just mine or the opposite. So number 2. So number 2, this one is a matter of not reacting. So that's why that number 5, not getting caught up in it. If you get caught up in it, you're going to end up doing this one. And that's telling them what to do or how they should react. Jumping in there and saying, this is what you need to do. You need, they, at this age, their little heads are all over the place, and they will be tuning you out as soon as you tell them, or they'll hear the opposite. I need to do the opposite, so I'm my own person. So that was number 2, telling them what to do or how to react. And number 1, I do this a lot. It's just, I think part of it is, as you are raising them, you're always a couple of steps ahead, trying to figure things out. And so you don't want to jump in and fix their problem, because that's part of their life and figuring out life, or trying to solve everything for them. So if they're struggling, and that's usually when, you get cued to jump in. If they're struggling, work with them on, again, just like with the other part where you might be talking a lot, ask them, hey, what would you think? What are some things you would come up with? And again, the more options, the more ways of looking at things that they can come up with, then they won't automatically jump to the default of, if you want this, I want the opposite. So those are the top 5 mistakes. And if you can keep those managed, controlled, however you want to look at it, then it'll be easier to be there for your team. So below I have a couple of things.
So to wrap it up, you know how your emotional state can be affected by those around you? Well, it's obvious, but sometimes we don't think about it. The reverse is true. So if you would like some really quick techniques and tips to calm yourself down so that when you are interacting with your team, if that sounds good to you, then go ahead and click the first link in the description, and it'll take you right there to some great resources.